Welcome, David. We have David Drysdale here, who's European Tour player since 2002. And we all know him well here in Qatar. He was part of that dramatic five-hole playoff at the 2020 Qatar Masters. He's played close on 500 events on the European Tour, and I think he's going to be joining a pretty unique club of people who have done that. Represented Scotland in the World Cup of Golf in 2009 and has 2 wins on the Challenge Tour. So welcome, David. And if you don't mind, we're going to go back to that moment 3 months ago or so on the playoff for the Commercial Bank Qatar Masters. Unbelievable golf played. The crowd were enthralled. We were delighted as the host venue because we got an extra hour of TV coverage. Really, first of all, just tell me how you kept the concentration going for that length of time, because the quality of golf you and Jorge produced for those 5 holes was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was quite a funny day Sunday. None of the 3 of us really played particularly well, and then the last 4 holes were pretty tricky. The wind got up, and in that 18th hole, I mean, over 500 yard par 4. It's not the easiest golf hole ever. The standard of shots that we're hitting were for those 5 holes. In fact, even my shot in the 72nd hole were fantastic, you know. But I mean, Jorge's putting was just different league.
And how did you bounce back from that? Because we were obviously watching it, and he holes one, and you followed him in. That was great. And then I think a couple of holes later, he holes another. And what was going through your mind?
He's known as a great putter. He is a great putter. I mean, he's probably one of the best on tour. You know, I had that chance on the 72nd green from maybe about 15 feet, and then I had that same putt in the first playoff hole after him holing from probably 20-25 feet. And then the second hole, when I hit to like 3.5 feet, I thought, oh, I've got him now, and I couldn't believe he just kept knocking them in. I just, you know, I haven't won on tour. That was my 498th start. Jorge's obviously, he took a wee while to win. He's won twice in the last 2 years now. It's tough to win. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. I hit great golf shots, hit all the shots that I couldn't have asked any more of myself. And yeah, I mean, he was just, you know, hats off to him. He kept, you know, he had more pressure on him than me. I was hitting inside him, but he kept responding by knocking the putts in.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I think a lot of people forget, as members at the club here, we play that hole's a par 5. So you guys were making birdies look ridiculously easy, and then throwing eagles as well as we would be playing it. So just phenomenal. And that just gets me on to the next question. Playing on tour for 20 years, it's an amazing feat, and it must boil down to consistency. What are your key factors to your consistency as a player?
My strengths are definitely accuracy off the tee and iron play. You know, over the years, it's been tee to green golf has been certainly for the last 10 years or so very consistent. If I had a little bit of Jorge's putting genius, I wouldn't mind that. But the long game has been the key to keeping me on tour for so long.
And is that through working with a coach regularly, or do you try and just keep things simple?
I work with Jamie Goff, South African Scot. I have done since 2011. So I mean, yeah, we've done some great work over the years, and the swings, you know, it's maybe, you know, not 100% orthodox, but it repeats. You know, we've really sort of got the ball striking has been, you know, up there with some of the best over the last 10 or so years.
And just last week we were talking to Dr. Brian Hemmings about the sort of psychological aspect of golf, and how we see some great players then decide to make huge changes in their game to try and jump to the next level, and it doesn't happen for them. And generally we're thinking that just maybe that a little tweak here and there is better. Stick with what you've got and just marginally gain there. Has that tended to be in your philosophy, or have you ever gone through sort of quantum changes or been tempted to do anything different?
Not really, to be honest. I got a great bit of advice my first year on tour. I think it was from Andrew Olcorn, possibly. Just whatever got you there, just stick with it, and try to, like you were saying, just try to improve little bits. And I never went for any radical changes or anything like that. Just try to improve here and there on little things, and that's kind of really what I work on. I've been working on very similar stuff for many years. I have the same faults as many golfers, as many amateurs. The hit turn and straightening my right leg and doing all sorts of things that I continually try to look at and keep in check. And
obviously been on tour 20 years, you'll have seen a lot of changes maybe on different young guys coming in season after season. What sort of the biggest changes you've seen in the game in the last 20 years, certainly at your level?
I think it's fairly obvious the length the guys hit the golf ball nowadays is... my first year in 2002, we had an Italian guy called Emanuele Canonica, who was probably one of the longest, hit it 300 yards off the tee, which was almost unheard of. Obviously with John Daly, who came and played in Europe now and again. There wasn't many guys that along came. Alvaro Curas, I'm sure he's won Qatar Masters, hasn't he?
He has, yes.
He came along sort of mid-2000, 2005 or 6. He hit it absolutely miles, but now it just seems that, they used to say that you had to be in your mid-30s before you had the sort of experience to win majors and to win golf tournaments. Now there's so many kids in their early 20s and they're all athletes, they're hammering the gym, they're super fit, and 300 yards now is the norm, if not even, it's not even in the top 50%.
And is that something for players like yourself who've been out there for a long time, is there a temptation to then try and join them in the gym or add length, or is that not the strategy for what you know best?
No, I mean, listen, I do a little bit of gym work and sort of mainly cycling, some stretching and stuff, but yeah, I'm not like one of these young lads in their early 20s who hammer it. I mean, yeah, I hit it far enough. I think I do. I mean, obviously, it would be good strikes and centre hits are the sort of things I'm looking for. Consistency. I can get it out there with a bit of roll to 300 yards, but some of these guys can carry my drive. It's not. It's just there's just more and more of them, and every year there seems to be more and more of them.
Yeah, amazing. So, and then obviously your season got cut short and it's going to start up again, but how important is momentum? You're coming off the Qatar Masters feeling on a high, having a really strong week and hitting good form, and then now there's been a forced layoff and probably not going to play competitive golf for 4.5 months until they resume again in Britain. So how important is momentum to you to get a good season?
Yeah, of course momentum was very important. I mean, it was a real shame not to, obviously after Qatar Masters, we were looking to go on to Kenya and then on to India. I hung about in Dubai for 3 or 4 days thinking that India was still going to go ahead, but I think it was the Wednesday or the Thursday it was called. So it was a shame not to take that form on the next couple of weeks and see where I might have gone with it. But absolutely, I've got, obviously a bit of confidence from that. I hadn't played fantastically well before the Qatar Masters, but I've been working hard and trying to turn my game around and found a couple of keys in practice in Doha and really did, play some solid stuff that week. So yeah, we're starting the UK swing on the 22nd of July with the British Masters in Newcastle. Looking forward to it. 6 events in a row. I'll probably do 4 or 5 of the 6. And hoping to, get out there and have some sort of form coming from, well, like you say, 4 months ago, but no reason as to why. Take a lot of confidence from that and a bit of momentum into the UK swing.
Yeah, it's been the same for everyone, so it's not like it's just you that's had the layoff, it's everyone. So it's going to be interesting to see how they regroup. And if you had a chance during this layoff to get out onto the golf course or practice, obviously Scotland was locked down pretty tight, but recent weeks opening up a bit more.
Yeah, I'm very lucky actually. I stay on a farm half an hour, 40 minutes south of Edinburgh, and I've got a 10-acre field out the back. which I have like my own personal range, if you like. Built a tee if you could probably 10 years ago and have 10 flags, all different distances. So I've been kind of messing about. The first 6 weeks, I would say, there wasn't a lot of motivation to get out and hit any golf balls, and the weather was, March, April in Scotland, the weather wasn't great, but certainly sort of start of May through till now, I've hit quite a lot of golf balls and had a couple of games of golf. So yeah, I'm actually swinging decently enough and hitting it not too bad. So I've had quite a lot of practice.
That's great. Good. And
no,
back to the Qatar Masters. New venue here at Education City Golf Club. How do you go about getting to know a course? Obviously, playing on the tour for so long, you'll have been very, very familiar with a lot of the courses that the events are played on, and then you come up to a new course. What sort of strategies do you put in place to get to know a course well in the practice rounds and such like?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have an awful lot of time. We got in there on the Sunday night, I think, and then had 9 holes Monday and maybe 18 Tuesday to get a good look at the golf course. Yeah, I mean, we play most weeks on tour are kind of repeat weeks, if you like. I mean, like Doha Golf Club that we've played for many, many years. So there's not that necessary to do any sort of studying because you're going back to somewhere you've been before. But no, it's always nice to get a new venue. I really enjoyed the golf course. I mean, I thought it had a great mix of holes. Some fantastic pin placements on Sunday made the course play just. The scoring was pretty decent the first few days, and then Sunday seemed to. I know there was a couple of low scores on Sunday, but it kind of stopped. The last 2 or 3 games didn't score low, and I thought the pins were tucked and the little bit of breeze. The course was quite tricky.
That's good. Yeah, that was good. And yeah, we actually thought the scoring would continue. And like you said, the final group were all on par or just over par in the final round, and kept it very tight to the end. And your wife Victoria, she caddies for you. How long has she been caddying for you, and how does that work out? That possibly could be quite a strain on the relationship from time to time.
It's she's just laughing in the background there. Sorry. No. She's been on the bag for 4 years now, and interestingly, she was doing 1 weekend at Leopard Creek in South Africa, end of 2016, and we did well in the tournament. She did fantastically, and I didn't really have a caddy at the time, so we continued the Middle East swing at the start of the year together. And I tried 1 or 2 caddies out over the next sort of 2 or 3 months and just found myself falling into a trap of relying on the caddy too much and kind of not taking responsibility enough for my own kind of focus on the golf course, if you like. So when I had Vicky on the bag, because she was a beginner at caddying, if you like, for all she's been around the tour for many years and knows a lot about golf, I was having to take responsibility for wind direction, yardage, all sorts of things, and just found that I focused far more. And it's been great. It's been great. We've done sort of this is our 4th season now, and so far marriage has been fine and everything's fine. When we're off the golf course, we don't talk much about golf, and she's fantastic at the job.
That's great. That's a good valid point. Actually, being a bit more aware yourself of the conditions rather than getting the information from the caddy, really interesting to see. And that really takes me on to the point for obviously our listeners and our members at the club here are always looking for little nuggets of advice and how to get the most out of their golf. What would you say to the club golfer? What would be the key things that they should really look at to be able to improve their performance or get the consistency that they desire?
Wow. I mean, what could I say about that? I mean, really just, just play within your limits. Amateur golfers always tend to try and think they can do things that they can't. And we all play to our strengths. So just play your own game and play to the strengths your golf game has.
Excellent. No, good advice. You do see some very optimistic guys wandering into the rough with a 3-wood or here in the desert trying to hit the miracle shot, where that's the discipline that you tour guys have, that if you're in deep trouble.
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
to chip out and then rely on the short game to save the par and such like. Without, it's really avoiding that disaster hole. You can bounce back from a bogey, but maybe a triple's maybe too much. Yeah.
Absolutely, taking your medicine, and yeah, definitely.
And what's your plan? So the season starts up in a few weeks' time, and I think there's six tournaments, and then there's a few more tournaments towards the back end of the year. Getting some Rolex Series events, PGA Championship in October, and then Tour Championship down in Dubai, all going to plan. So what are your plans for this year, and your aspirations for the future seasons as well? We're obviously looking forward to 2021 Qatar Masters and such like.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's been obviously a very strange year this year. My main goal is to win a golf tournament. I'm 2 events away from playing 500 events in the European Tour without a win, which is kind of hard to believe, but that's the main goal. One of the goals at the start of the season is always to make that DP World. I think that always, if you make the DP World in Dubai, you've had a pretty consistent, steady season. Yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting back and playing, and looking forward to, obviously getting back to some sort of normality. I've done it for 20 years now, and this sort of extended period of time off has been fantastic to be at home. But kind of golf's all I know, and travel and stuff like that. I'm really starting to miss that aspect of it.
Brilliant. So, well, we wish you all the best, and we're going to be looking out for your name in the British swing when it kicks off in July.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you here. Fingers crossed we get the Qatar Masters up and running again for next year. We're looking forward to that, and looking forward to seeing you here, and hopefully going one better.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't wait to get back.
Great stuff. Thanks very much for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Cheers,
Great.
guys. Thank you.